Hello YouTube. I watched a video today and it was discussing how the words racism and white supremacy and all this other stuff is being used a lot in our times, in the age we live in the last few years actually, because it wasn't around before that. Um, Boy, I can go off. I can make this video 5 hours long talking about subjects like this. But I guess I wanted to hit one particular thing. All right, if this talking point of racism and being called a racist, white supremacist, and all this other stuff that is used way too much, how did this all start? I mean, if it wasn't around before, how did it all start? Well, let me show you something that's related and we'll get to it. And this does always end in the New World Order type of situation. So let's get to it. This is a trial version, so I'm sure it's going to interrupt me a bunch of times. But all right, so you're giving a speech and you want to control the crowd secretly. And whoever comes in, whether they're neutral or pro whatever you're trying to talk about, or if they're against it. Yeah, I figured I was to get the nag screen. Anyway, so this is you standing here. Let's see if this will draw. Yeah, it doesn't draw very good. Let's see if I can I put a darker? Yeah, whatever. Alright, well, you're just gonna have to take it for what it is. So you're standing here. This is way too big, but I want you to see it. Perspective wise, it's too big, but okay, you're standing here and you're passionately giving a speech. Oh, look, I even drew a face without even knowing it. All right, so you're giving a speech to this crowd and you want to control them. You want to control what they think and how they feel. So how do you do that? I mean, you can give them good points, you can give them this and that and everything else, you can do whatever you want, but sometimes you just can't convince people of certain things. Let's suppose you were slightly right-leaning and you're talking to a slightly left-leaning crowd. And you're trying to talk about gun control and abortion and all these controversial issues. But you want them on your side. Well, what do you do? And also, converse to this, also, don't be susceptible to something like this. And oh, by the way, okay, I'll tell you the name of it. It's called the diamond system of crowd control. And if you search for it, and you search for the diamond system and stuff like that, even if you put in the word crowd control, yes, you'll get some entries back. But mostly you're going to get stuff on pool and billiards, diamond system, because there's a diamond system you use for that. All right, so let's go. I always get off into tangents. Okay, so you're giving your speech to your crowd, and all of this is full of people. It's not empty like this, but I wanted to use an empty one just for now. What you do is you precede the crowd with people that are going to work with you, but on the sly. You make them look like regular crowd members. The diamond system would be kind of what you would figure. Well, that's a terrible diamond, but a diamond, so let me erase that. Oh, I missed my nice guy. Anyway, all right, so you're up here. And I better not erase them more. So, you're a diamond. You got 1 point up there, 1 point over here, 1 point towards the bottom, 1 point towards the right. That's the diamond system. Well, okay, let's suppose you don't want to be so obvious and whatever. You put the guy, say you put somebody right here in this seat. And then you have somebody else, say, not so obvious in the very corners, but somebody somewhat up front, but say this seat. And then you don't want to put it directly opposite, so you stagger it a little bit and you put somebody here. And in the back of the room, you put, say, somebody here. Now, this would be a diamond system. You can even go further back. So, as you're giving your speech, you can do it several different ways. You can either go to a question and answer, or you can just have them shout out, like they're all doing it on their own. So you're saying, okay, let's take that scenario. You're slightly right and conservative, and you're talking to a left crowd. and you want them to go your way. Now, I'm not advocating this. I'm just telling you how stuff like this could work. And you can apply it to right, left, up, down. I don't care. Inside out, upside down. I don't care what you apply it to. But I want you to understand this at the end in regards to, I'll get to all that, in regards to the New World Order. So, you're conservative and you're right. And you say, hey, I think abortion is wrong. We can't do abortion. And the crowd is not completely left. They're just leaning a little bit left, so they're already starting to feel uncomfortable. And you want to get them on your side. And you give a little explanation. Okay, the reason I say I don't believe in abortion is because of ABC 1, 2, 3, and that's the way I feel about it. Don't you think so? And this guy over here, you have him on cue, stands up or sits down or yells or whatever, puts his hand up, whatever he does. He gets up and he says, you know what, I think you're right. I think wow, I didn't really think of it that way before. I never gave it a thought like that. You know, you're completely right. And as this is going on, as he's just about finishing, you have this guy say, you know, I was thinking about that too, and I think you're right. You know, affirmative. And while everybody's swinging their head from the front guy to this guy, now you pull a little zigzag on him, and you have this guy say, you know, I wasn't going to believe you at first, but once you started explaining it, you know, I really get it now. I fully agree. And then this guy goes and, you know, I don't know. I think all you guys are right. You know, I've been listening to this whole time, and all you guys stood up, and boy, you're all making good arguments. I think I'm starting to see what's going on here. Maybe the first guy talks again, and this guy talks, and this guy talks, and this guy talks. You talk, and this guy. Anyway, I'm getting to be like John Madden on this thing, but let me backtrack. What this does is it gets people in the crowd that are not very totally convicted in their convictions, and it gets them looking all over the place. He's looking at here, and they're looking at you, and they're looking over here, to back, and left, and up and down, and John Madden's going crazy. He would love to do this presentation. And what does it do? Well, people don't like to stick out. If people think that, oh my God, it's everywhere, it's spreading through the crowd. Geez, you know, people like to be followers. I hate to say it. I'm a nonconformist. I don't like to be a follower of anything. I question everything. However, a lot of people like to be followers. And if they see all these people starting to talk, the diamond system, that is. I just didn't draw it right, but whatever. This guy's supposed to be over here. All right. All these people are like getting into it. Yeah, you know, clapping and raising a ruckus. They're not going to be wanting to stick out like sore thumbs. As a matter of fact, you can even populate it more if you want. The more, the better. And have people talking. You know, I agree. Maybe even just one-on-one conversations loud enough for a small area to overhear. You know, maybe a couple other ones plan it just for that purpose, just to get like small areas to start thinking, wow, you know, everybody's into this. Guy made a really good point. So that's how you control the minds of people. Now, the rest of the people that aren't with your little scheme are going to be walking out of here thinking, you know, he made a good point. Yeah, you might change like 90% of the people's minds. Maybe even 100%, because you're pulling a fast one on them. You're pulling a scheme. I don't care if it's dirty, underhanded, whatever. I ain't advocating it. I ain't anything. I'm explaining it. So that's the way that goes. Okay, but I'm not done yet. So hold your freaking horses. There's more to come. There's more to come. Let's suppose you wanted to change your venue. And we're not talking about a small classroom or a meeting hall or whatever. We're talking about, say, something like this as your venue. How do you do this? Well, maybe in the past it was impossible. Not anymore. Holy mackerel, not anymore. And if people wake up to this fact, people are going to go bonkers, because you can basically control pretty much the world. And by the way, This is what I'm proposing. People are doing this currently now, and this is where this racism and white supremacy and all this other nonsense has come from. I can go into more details of where I think it's come from. Like all of a sudden, out of the blue, Mr. O, I'll call him, decides the Confederate flag is something bad, and all of a sudden everybody's thinking the Confederate flag is bad. Oh my gosh, what did you want to? Did you actually want to push a racial issue? Because that seems to have started some stuff. But I'm getting on a sidetrack here. Okay, so let's go quickly into this one, because I guess you can see where I'm going. So there's a person called GS somewhere in this area. Oh, no. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Somewhere in this area. GS. Let's call it GS. Oh, by the way, this is all hypothetical. Hypothetical. And I'm not saying anybody's doing anything. But if you know what I'm getting at, I ask you what I'm just going to say it. George Soros. George Soros is a multi-billionaire. Now, if you think you, with your regular amount of regular life and regular money and regular everything, and you're really got some social media going with your Twitter followers and your Facebook followers and this and that, and you have a pretty good group, 20, 30,000, maybe less, 5,000, whatever. What if you had, I don't know, 100,000? Well, anyway, let's just go. So you got Mr. Moneybags over here, hypothetically. And Mr. Moneybags says to whoever, his minion, his workers, or whatever, go out and recruit some people. And what we're going to do is we're going to do this. X, Y, Z, A, B, C. And we're going to demonize the racism. We're going to apply it to conservatives and the right and Trump and everybody else. So they go out. Say there's 20 of them, 20 of his workers. They go out and recruit. Well, so you got 20 people recruiting. I'm not going to draw all 20 lines, but they go out and they recruit 20. So 20, 20. I mean, you do the math. I'm not going to do math on the fly. Let's keep it easy. 10. He has 10 workers. 10 workers go out and they get 10. Now you got 100. Now those 10 have been prompted to go out and get 10 more. And maybe this is all paid all the way down here. It's still paid. He's paying everybody. Anyway, so you got 10 to 100 to 1,000. Let's just say let's go one more. He's got enough money. Let's go. He pays all the way up to 10,000. So now you got 10,000 people. Now the orders come down that they're all paid. Go out in your social medias, all of you. And you all, that's the only way that they're going to hire you, by the way. If you got a decent social media presence of, say, 2 to 5,000 or more, maybe even 10,000, 20,000, better, all the better. Maybe you get a little bonus if you get more. All right, so let's clear this up. Draw Mr. Moneybags in again. And so now we got 10K people. Oh, stop it. I can't pay you. Unless people donate. And by the way, you can't donate them because I ain't got all that stuff. But maybe one of these days. So you got 10K people. And they're all over the country. A little bit here, there, wherever. They're all over the place. Gotta put some in the middle America here. Alright, you get the idea. And they're all on their social medias. Now, social medias hit everywhere. They don't only hit their own area, but let's just keep it simple. So you got this person controlling, say, this area, this person controlling this area, this person controlling this area, etc., etc. And pretty soon, I think you see where I'm going with all of this, is you got all these people in this particular country of the United States of America, land of the free and home of the brave, all thinking that they got their act together and that all of this is their own idea. The marching orders comes down from one little schmuck over here, Moneybag schmuck. He goes and pays X number of people. They go get others, and pretty soon this whole idea of racism and white supremacy and pretty much anything that this Mr. Moneybags wants to push. Let's just stick with racism and white supremacy, but you should understand that this could apply to anything. Anything, any kind of evil being subjected to the world. It could apply to this. So what do you see here? Obviously, you got a blanket coverage of the United States of America. Well, we can't forget Alaska, and I guess they, oh yes they do, they got Hawaii. There you go. Now everybody's included. You got all these people in our entire country basically being mind controlled and not even knowing it. Not even knowing. They think it's their own idea. Oh, my buddy. Yeah, they know they might lean a little bit a certain way or whatever, and then they're picking up these talking points from these people that are being paid and whatever. And now they're into it. It's like a thing to do now. Marches, protests, all this applies to this stuff. What, suppose you want to go to a different venue? Now, I ain't going to draw all over this, because I guess you would get the idea by now. If this was your venue and you did the same thing, especially nowadays with social media, and I guess Africa, I wouldn't imagine too much of Africa is connected to the internet, but I'm sure there is lots. Where else? Oh, everywhere. Maybe not some third worlds and stuff like that. Anyway, you get the idea. This is what's going on, in my opinion. My opinion, and hypothetically, there is such a thing called the New World Order. There are people with enough money, enough ambition, enough power already. They already have it. They already have the money, the power, and they just want to solidify their game plan. Well, that's the diamond system. And the diamond system used to only apply to crowded rooms or crowds, but not no more. Not with social media. Diamond system now can apply to the entire world. But in our country, United States of America, and if anybody else is watching this, I'm sure it applies to yours if they decide to go after it, like Canada or anywhere for that matter. Well, anywhere. I'm gonna read them off. But you got people trying to control the thoughts and minds of people, and they have money to do it, and their money spreads out, and that's spreading out. Okay, you get the idea, guys. Everybody, your ideas may not be your own. You might pick up on them from social media, and you're saying, whoa, you know, this sounds reasonable. Yeah, because you follow the people that you like. You follow the people with similar ideas. You're already set up in the group. I mean, the world's divided basically in the country's divided basically in two, left and right, conservative, liberal. So you already got your half the country. All you gotta do is keep pressing them. Racism, white supremacy, marches, riots, protests, Trump's bad. All you gotta do is keep tweaking this whole little system you got set up here, and it never ends. Ladies and gentlemen of the United States of America and the world, you are being mind controlled, and I'm not going to dance around the bush anymore. If you're on the left, if you're a liberal on the left and you're being pushed to all these marches and meetings and all this other stuff, your mind is being controlled. Trump is not the demon that you've been thought of. If you think he's a demon in your head, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It ain't that way. You have to understand the bigger picture. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if Trump said bad words about a woman. It doesn't matter. And I'll tell you why. Because saying bad words about a woman in the context that I'm talking is like a paper cut compared to being thrown into a wood chipper. There's things going on in the world that are extremely dangerous. You can't be worrying about whether Trump is weird or not in any way like that. Is he doing a good job? Is he working for our country? Is he trying to keep us safe? These are the things you need to be talking about. Well, I think I got off on a tangent, but Hey, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe liberals won't get this, huh? Maybe only the conservatives get this and the right wings. They'll pass it along, the liberals won't look at it, right? Anyway, I think I've talked too much, but people, you need to wake up. Your minds are being controlled. You're being controlled. You're being controlled. Unbelievable. You need to start investigating what the New World Order is. You have to. Your lives depend on it. Whatever. Have a good day. Hope you learned something. If you liked the video, like and subscribe because I want to start monetizing. I need to get to 100. Thanks. Bye.